Welcome back, folks. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. It's great to have you along. Of course, as we keep talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Of course, a lot of the players from club structures and school structures now playing for the under-20s. We go behind the scenes with them on a weekly basis to go and find out how their preparation is going and profile a lot of the players that have come through the ranks. Of course, it was a big win for them over the weekend. They played against the Sharks on Saturday, walking away with a 65-0 win. We go behind the scenes.
Ja, ek dink dit was 'n goeie wakkerskrik geleentheid vir ons om dinge regtelik te besef. Dit gaan nie 'n walkover wees elke game, moet ons maar soos 'n ernstige wedstryd aanpak en net ons bes te gee. Ek dink ons het mooi die cover die naweek en ek dink die momentum is besig om te bou, so die games wat voor lê behoort lekker te wees. Ek dink die diepte maak dat die ouens wat nie gereeld camp dan gaan baie honger is, so in oefeninge druk hulle hard en dit maak dit ons moet harder werk om ons plek te bou, so dit elke keer daai intensiteit, dit so die oefeningsintensiteit op, dit maak dit ons net beter en beter word. Ek dink die travel en die rondgerry maak maar 'n bietjie moeg. Maar ek dink ook dit help met die spanbou en die gees. Ek dink dit maak dat ons as 'n span saamtrek, so dit was ook baie lekker. Maar ek dink daar's niks soos Nieuweland of 'n tuisgame nie, so ek dink die tuisgame gemaak het ons net daai extra edge het. Ja, ek dink die skade sou 'n groot deel gespeel het in die gees en die omgewing, maar ek dink definitief die feit dat ons by Nieuweland speel en dit is 'n voordeel om by Nieuweland te speel, gaan dit net daai extra motivering en energie gee om ons bes te gee. Ja, nee, definitief. Ek dink dis net 'n voordeel om die WP aan te trek, so om daai geskiedenis al saam te hê as 'n groep van so jonk af. Ek dink dit gel lekker die ouens saam en dit trek ons lekker saam en ja, elke game is 'n voordeel saam. As 'n klomp ou spelers wat nou vir die jong spelers coach, ek dink mense kan voel daai vlam en daai intensiteit wat hulle gehad het, ervaar ons nou uit in hulle coaching en dis 'n voordeel om te weet hulle is al daardeur. So die rede hoekom hulle vir ons kan advies gee en raad gee is omdat hulle dit deurtrap het en dit maak dit makliker vir ons om te besef dat ons dit kan volg wat hulle vir ons sê.
Ja nee, dit is altyd lekker. Ek bedoel, dit is ons passie, dit is wat ons wil doen en veral in hierdie moeilike tye om weer net terug te kan op die veld en met vriende en ja, het is net lekker om weer op die veld te kan wees en te doen wat jy voor lief is. Ja nee, dit is veral as jy terugkom na 'n rukkie uit, dan is die eerste paar wedstryde maar 'n bietjie fisies, maar dit maak mens beter en dit is lekker om 'n bietjie teen sterker opposisie te oefen en te speel soms. Ek bedoel, hier is so 'n paar ouens wat nou verlede jaar onder 21 gespeel het, wat waar die kap gespeel het en dit bou die diepte en dit help die manne om harder te werk, want jy wil speel, jy wil elke naweek speel en as die ou langs jou harder werk as jy, dan wil jy harder werk as wat hy werk. So nee, ons druk mekaar definitief en dit maak die span beter. Ek weet nie, ek voel dit het nie regtig so groot nie. Ons groep het 'n goeie attitude gehad met die hele ry en als ons het daar gekom, ons het geweet wat ons wil doen, ons het gestrek as ons moes trek, as ons stop by plekke, ons het die regte mentaliteit gehad om goed te kan doen as ons daar aankom. So ja nee, definitief. Ek bedoel, dit is waarvoor die kompetisie hier so is, om jou te meet teen die bestes in jou ouderdomsgroep. So nee, ons sien baie uit en ja, dit gaan 'n groot challenge wees. Ja nee, definitief. Ek bedoel ja, nee, hulle stories en wat hulle al bereik het is, ja, ons kan 'n hele ander dag praat oor dit, maar hulle gee definitief vir ons baie goeie raad en hulle help ons definitief van die veld af en op die veld baie. En nie net as spelers nie, maar as mense kan ons ook baie soos leer van hulle af. So nee, hulle help ons definitief baie.
That was good. It was actually my first time ever putting on the Western Province jersey. So besides me being injured, just the fact that God has blessed me with this opportunity to put on the jersey for the first time, I just wanted to use the opportunity with both hands and just give it my all. Yeah, I think having competition makes you not be complacent and relaxed. I think it makes you keep that hunger because, for example, in my position there's maybe about 5 touted props and each weekend you can only choose 2. So I think besides not being selected, the boys just keep on pushing each other and yeah, everyone's happy when someone's selected because they know that next week they have another shot at it. So yeah. I think the team is doing very well together. I think the group started training quite a while back, then it started growing and growing once the Varsity Cup and Junior Box ended. So I think everyone is gelling together and is happy, in a happy environment. So it shows on the field. Yeah, so I think the focus is just on us. We're not really focusing on them. I think we just need to focus on us and focus on us executing what we need to do, and the rest will take care of itself. Yeah, and I'm definitely blessed to have these coaches. I think as a player you can feed off because they've walked this path before us, and we can feed off that, and it just helps as they were players once, so they understand what we're going through. So yeah.
Look, I think the first game, before that, like I said in our previous talk, we didn't really have a warm-up game, so that obviously showed in the field. Some of the passes weren't sticking, the boys were a little bit rusty, and there was a lot of nerves going on. But I think after that game, we had a bye after that game, so we could work nice and hard. We worked in the week before EP, and we just focused on playing our game. And I think that's going to be very important for the rest of the tournament, not focusing on the team ahead, but just focusing on what our plan is, what our process is, and just sticking to it. Yeah, no, obviously since I was a child, the Bulls have always been the province's rivals. So this weekend obviously holds something a little bit more than just a 80-minute rugby game. It's got that little bit of that pride, that passion, that want to win, just to say, okay, cool, we're the champs, and I think that's gonna determine basically the rest of the tournament. This next Saturday, this next Friday game, because I think the Bulls is going to be one of the biggest games this tournament, and like I said, they've been our rivals since day one. So the coaches are obviously itching for it, the players are itching for it, and I think that's just showing in the training. Look, obviously it does, because it creates like a bond off the field, and you've known the guy for a number of years now, and it's not just another teammate, it becomes one of your friends, and after a while it becomes sort of one of your family members, like we don't see ourselves as players, we see ourselves as brothers, and like I think that definitely does make a difference on the field, because if I know he's got my back off the field, of course he's going to have it on the field. So I think that just knowing the people for longer, they get to know you better as well. So if you're having an off day, I think it just helps a lot more, because you can sense it a lot easier than someone that you've just met last week. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, now having coaches that have had actual playing experience is wonderful, because they're not just speaking from an off the field perspective. They're speaking from an on field perspective, where they know how it is, how it gets when the game is wet and muddy, or how it is when there's little time left and you need to score points. They know those pressure situations, so they understand what you're going through. And I think just being able to recognize the fact that your coach has been through the ranks, he's played where you've played, and he's been he's achieved greater heights. Just knowing that also gives you that sense of confidence that he knows what he's talking about, and you can give an ear to this guy, because if you take something, there is something valuable to take out of what he's saying. Hopefully, obviously, if that's the Lord's will, then that's all we're hoping for. But I think the camaraderie, like you said, does make a big difference, because we're not only here for rugby, we're here to have some fun. This is still our passion. It's not just a thing we do in the morning and go to bed and we forget about it. It's something we like to live sometimes, and when we lose it hits us in the heart, and when we win, you can see it on our faces. So I think that aspect of passion and pride makes a big difference in the end of the day.
So a big win for the under-20s this weekend in their second match of the under-20 Currie Cup. Fantastic stuff. I mean, walking away with the second match win over the Sharks of 65-0. Great result, and we're happy to see the guys are in such good spirits. Well, folks, as you know, on a weekly basis, we take a look at what's happening at MChem 24-hour pharmacy, my favorite pharmacy. Pop around there all the time. Drive down, free parking, walk in, go upstairs, have a cup of coffee, and then do my shopping, and then on my way home. It is the most convenient that you can imagine. But of course, you need to remember that you must get a grip on the flu this season. And of course, speaking to the experts at MChem 24-hour pharmacy, they'll tell you that there are a number of high-risk categories, such as pregnant women, the elderly, and of course young children. And according to the Center for Disease Control, children younger than 5 years old, especially those that are younger than 2, are in fact a higher risk of developing serious flu-related complications. Now, of course, the flu vaccine offers the best defense against flu and its potentially serious consequences, and can also reduce the spread to others. And getting vaccinated has been shown to reduce flu illness, doctors' visits, missed work and school days, and of course reduces the risk of flu-related hospitalization and death in children, and that preventing and reducing the severity of illness associated with flu will ease the burden on patients and the country's healthcare providers. Now, you can get your flu vaccine at MChem 24-hour pharmacy clinics from 8 a.m. in the morning until 8 p.m. in the evening every day of the week. No appointment needed. Just go, get down to MChem and just walk on in. No appointment needed. I think that's extremely convenient at a time, of course, where time is a factor for everybody. Now, of course, MChem 24-hour pharmacy is always open just for you. Folks, we'll take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll carry on taking a look at what's happening in the world of club rugby. Back in a sec.